So your wife says, you don't listen to me. Well, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to walk you through a simple process that's going to improve your communication, reduce conflict in the home, and allow you to serve your wife better by becoming a better listener. I'm Andre. I have a master's in pastoral counseling. I've been married for almost 15 years myself with 6 kids, and for years I had this same communication issue. I was hearing her words, but she didn't feel heard and understood. And as a result, there was much conflict and broken communication in the home. Okay, so how do I actually make my wife feel heard and understood? I'm going to answer that question in this video with the HEARD framework. HEARD is an acronym, H-E-A-R-D. Each letter represents a simple step that you can take today to improve your communication. Okay, let's break it down. H, hold off judgment. It wasn't until a few years into my marriage that I realized that when my wife comes to me with a concern, she doesn't want my problem solving first. She wants my presence. You see, many men jump into problem solving mode, and I get it. We are wired to solve problems. But understand that men communicate to solve problems, women communicate to connect. So when your wife comes to you with a problem, she's not asking you to fix it. She's asking you to understand and affirm her. But what if I have the solution to her problems? My wife and I had a 20-minute conversation the other day, and she talked about a problem that she was having with her friend. And I felt like I knew in about 2 minutes what she should do. But I waited. And after about 20 minutes, she finally said, "What do you think I should do?" And then I offered my opinion. See, she felt heard first, then she was ready for my solutions. You're going to have your chance to offer solutions, but if you want to serve her well, we have to slow down, hold off judgment, and give our presence first before we offer solutions. E, eye contact. Sometimes, in the name of efficiency, I try to listen to my wife while I'm multitasking. So I'll be looking at my phone or doing the dishes while she's talking. And then she'll say, "I'll stop until I have your full attention." You see, she wants my undivided attention. And when I give her eye contact, this communicates that I'm listening fully. I can try multitasking and I can even say that I'm listening, but the message that she receives is, "You're not important enough for my full attention." So your body language matters, and much of communication is nonverbal, and we receive a lot of information through the face. So eye contact does 2 things. Number 1, it shows that you care. And number 2, it gives you the ability to understand her better because you're looking at her face and capturing more of her emotional information. The eye contact says, "I'm here, I'm engaged, and you matter to me." A, ask questions. Okay, so the next 3 steps have to do with your response. See, there's a listening portion and then there is a response that is required. So when we ask questions, the goal is to be curious, not critical. So you want to ask questions like, what happened next? How did that make you feel? Tell me more about that. These questions show that you're engaged and they give her space to share more. So watch your tone, be curious, not judgmental. R, reflect or summarize. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that communication has taken place. That's a quote attributed to George Bernard Shaw, and it highlights that simply speaking or sending a message doesn't guarantee that the listener understood it. So reflection shows that the message is received, and it gives your wife the ability to clarify what she's feeling. Notice I said reflect and not repeat. For instance, you might come home and she said, "The kids gave me a lot of trouble today." You don't want to say, "Oh, so the kids gave you a lot of trouble today." She's going to be like, "Yeah, I just said that." So you don't want to repeat the message word for word. You want to capture the spirit of what she's saying. You especially want to capture the emotions behind this. So going back to that example earlier, you might say, "You're frustrated because the kids weren't listening to you." And she might say, "Yes, if they would only listen the first time, things would be so much easier." See, you successfully reflected her message and now she feels understood. Or if you didn't get the message right, she might say, "Well, I'm not frustrated. I'm just more so tired." You see, she's clarifying the message for you. And either way, you get a better understanding of how she is feeling so you can respond the right way. So every few minutes, just summarize what you're hearing. Reflecting her feelings will go a long way in strengthening your communication. D, don't minimize. Okay, so you don't want to invalidate or dismiss her feelings by your response. This is a killer. Minimizing is the fastest way to shut down the communication or start an argument. Your words, your tone, your body language, they should affirm her. But what if I disagree? What if she's overreacting? I get that. She might be wrong, or you might think she's wrong, but remember, your first goal in communication is to understand her and to make her feel safe. And then after she feels safe, there will be an opportunity for you to give your perspective. But if you start with trying to correct her or speak in a way that feels dismissive, that won't work. You can disagree with her conclusions, but still acknowledge her feelings. Romans 12:15 says, rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn. See, the goal here is to join her in solidarity, not to question her feelings. And once she feels understood and she knows 100% that you're on her side, she'll give you space to share your perspective. So we validate first, disagree later if you need to. Let me recap the HERD framework. H, hold off judgment. E, eye contact. A, ask questions, be curious. R, reflect and summarize. And D, don't minimize. Validate her feelings. 5 steps. Simple, but it takes practice. And the thing about communication is it's a skill. Anybody can get better at it if you practice. And when we become a better listener as husbands, you will see less conflict in the home. You'll have more peace, and you will be serving your wife at a higher level. I've seen it in my own marriage, and it works. James 1:19 says, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. And if you want to go deeper on this topic, I've created a free PDF download of the HERD framework. It includes examples for each of these scenarios so that you can practice and get better at it. Link is in the description. Try it tonight. Let me know what you think. Let me know what part of the HERD framework resonates with you. All right, I'm Andre. Let's stay locked in.